Hello guys and welcome to the channel. This is Paper Roll. So in today's video I want to talk about how to use Warclaw or how you should move with it correctly. Since I made this video I got a lot of comments and mostly whispers about people wanting to ask things or talk about the Warclaw, and a lot of people like I'm still gonna stick to my sky scale of movement so he can move better across terrain, or people gonna stick to Raptor or Jackal simply for movement speed or something like that. So I think that's because a lot of people don't really know how to move with the Warclaw. You shouldn't use any mount if you don't want to. Use whatever you like or enjoy, but Warclaw can offer much more speed and usability in different terrains unless you really need to climb up very high, like different layer level in different maps. So the idea of Warclaw is simply that it have two movement skill. Simply you can dodge forward using endurance, or you can jump also using endurance. The jump will give you less distance forward comparing to the dodge. So if we compare here without actually moving, like simply using the movement skill, this is the dodge, just without pressing the movement skill. And if we look to the jump, this is the entire jump, as you can see. So the jump is not fixed on how much distance or simply height it can cut. That's because the second tier masteries that give us actually the jump gain ability or access to jump while mid-air. It will cost stamina, but downward velocity increase the jump height with the mastery feline reflexes. And this is the key movement to this move. In order to cut distance up to go across terrain like rocks or something like that, or even climb hills, you need to allow for falling to happen before you actually jump upward. So if you keep spamming it like that, the distance becomes very short. While, for example, even if you go from the same area and you do that and then allow for the fall, and then allow for another fall, and then use it again, as you can see the distance increases significantly. And this is the key to movement and cutting higher portions of terrain. You need to allow for the fall to happen first, and the more the fall happen until you reach terminal velocity, and you can kind of determine it very easily. You'll find it become fixed. You can go a little bit higher. So there is two types of terrain in general for this problem. Is if you have this angle, as you can see, like a pyramid shape, if you spam just you hit button with the Warclaw and you spam your dodge, you simply can, or most of the time you can go up if the distance is short, or you at least will climb anyway. So if I do it like that, as you can see, I'm still able to climb it. However, the other form is something with a 90-degree angle, or even worse, it's curved but the other way around, something like this rock, for example, which is a really bad example because you also have downward areas here, so you need to climb a very high distance. And if I do that, as you can see, I'm still able to climb up most of the time, but you might not even go up, and you barely can cut this distance. As you can see, it becomes very difficult. But if you normally know how to use Warclaw right, you will go with a downward, like if you come from here or this side, you will just spin around it like that, and you will allow for the fall, and with a couple of jump you're above this rock. And let me show you another example. So this is me trying to get this codon box above, so I go to the rock next to it, and to allow a longer fall and then jump, allow for another fall and then jump, and get into a side of terrain, another edge when I can stand. Wait a little bit for my endurance like that, so I have a couple of options in a way, and simply jump to the side, stand on another edge, and jump again, allow for the fall to happen, jump in there while spinning around the area. And this is the key movement. You're not moving into a direct line, you're actually moving like in a circle around the area you're trying to cut the distance in, which allow you to have a falling animation, simply to increase the velocity and jump upward for a longer distance. And let's look to the movement again to see clearly the difference between allowing for the jump animation. Look how high the distance I can cut. But if I spam it, it's barely moving anyway, and you can lose the endurance very fast and you end up falling to the ground. And this is very important to know about, especially if you are trying to cut different distance between higher areas without actually going to the skyscale route. Like this distance, for example. If I allow for the fall, I can move like that, and again like that, and I can go high on different edges instead of flying, or simply become on the ground here and can't climb up. It's not only for climbing, it's for also to maintaining your elevation between different areas and terrain without always needing to go to Griffin or a skyscape. So to summarize the movement, basically, don't move always in a straight line. It's much better to go in like a circle like that to actually get above things, but sometimes you can simply spam it forward and do it. The way also to jump is you get a normal jump like that. As you can see, I don't use endurance in this jump, so it's a normal jump and then jump above like that. While if you're on the ground and you simply start clicking it like spamming it, you will not be triggering the air jump, so you will feel stuck, you will waste endurance and then fall and then waste endurance again, you will struggle with actual movement. So get a normal jump in and then start jumping in the air like that with a firm click on your spacebar. And try utilize what you need most. So if I'm moving from here to another terrain like that, I can simply go with a dodge and then jump to keep my elevation. And the other way around, if I'm moving to a higher area, I don't always need to just use the jump. I can use the jump or I can use the dodge to cut longer distance. So remember, the dodge will give you longer distance, but the jump will move you upward. So mix and match between them in order to cut the distance the way you need to be or the most efficient. If you get used to the Warclaw, it becomes very good. I don't consider myself pro at it or anything, or even used to it as much as I hope I will be at some point, but this was the fastest method I found, or the normal way I use it for moving around, and it worked just fine for me. If anyone have better tips or anything, don't feel shy to put it in the comment, share the knowledge. Now let's take a look also to the other mastery stuff, so to tell you some of the advantage comparing to other mount. We already compared the speed and compared it to other mounts in the other video. I really recommend you to actually watch it, and I would like to tell you that the wiki is still wrong. It has the listed speed of the world versus world, enemy territory and not territory and stuff like that, and this speed is wrong. It is too slow for the actual Warclaw. However, someone already done the calculation of the Warclaw now, and as you can see, it's much more speed and faster than other movement mount that really allow you to cut better distance than they are. I took a picture of it from the Reddit post that they made. So the general idea, if you're not gonna watch the video or you want the short version, Raptor is still the best in short distance, because the way when you use Bond of Vigor, it just regenerate the endurance and it will cut some huge distance in just a couple of hits faster than any other mount. So in short distance it can move very well, but the longer the distance you need to cut in a map, it becomes the slowest in a way. The Jackal is still very fast and it has the best rotation because it's teleport, so it doesn't really need to do this movement thing. When you actually try to turn your camera, it will immediately shift its direction, and also it doesn't affect by any little of terrain like that. It doesn't get or hit like a ladder or something like that. It just teleport above it, even better than any upward movement, unless you really need to climb in the Warclaw. But if you need to move across any terrain or even across different ledges in the air or climb up, Warclaw is the fastest in movement and the only mount that can actually do it. But that's not the only thing. So if you check the masteries for Warclaw, you don't take any falling damage on it, so it doesn't matter how high you will fall, you will not get dismounted, you will not get damaged, you will not even enter combat or anything. It's just like the flying mounts, which allow you to really move very well even mid-air. Raptor can't move mid-air anyway, and Jackal can, but it can take falling damage normally. And we already explained the air jump or the feline reflexes trait, and also when you dash through different enemies, as I can do here, you will reset your endurance, which allow you even to move much longer distances by simply spamming the movement. It gets you inside combat, which is really inconvenient sometimes, but you can ride it in combat. So if you're not really keep dismounting too much, like gathering chests or something like that, it's still better to have yourself hitting combat by simply hitting different target than actually not entering combat and dodging enemies while losing the endurance. And if you hit those white things, they spread across Genseer, and they also exist in other maps, but there's too much here because of the mastery. This is the Warclaw expansion. Then you don't really enter combat, you just hit them and they kinda die anyway, which even add much more efficiency to the speed and movement of the Warclaw. And the endurance happen in the end of your dash, so it just resets immediately after it's already going down. And this one also add CC component to your chain ball, but also you have CC to lance, and it's insane amount of CC. You not only can break enemies' defense bar with it, it's like strong as the magnetic balls or even stronger in a way. You can spam it, it's ammunition, so you can keep hitting it to break almost any defense bar, and you can even use it mid-combat, because you can mount the Warclaw inside combat. So you can use it again and start taking down a defense bar immediately if you need to. Multiple people can do it on bounty if you're on squad or something like that, even without the magnetic balls, or with it. So it's insane amount of defense bar breaks that you can have on it, more than any other mount, which give it also another advantage. However, those things do not pierce, so if the enemy have different adds or other mobs around it, they will hit the add and will not hit the target behind it, which is the boss you're trying to break the defense bar for. And well rested give higher endurance and regeneration to all your mounts, so it's not exclusive to Warclaw anymore. So that's it for the video. If you have any other tips or methods to movement, don't feel shy on actually putting in the comments. Spread the knowledge. I hope you like this video. Share it if you find it useful to your friends, so they can, and share the love for the Warclaw. It is really good mount right now, and very enjoyable for movement in general. I hope you find this video helpful, and tell me if you're willing to change to Warclaw as the best mount for movement or moving all around now. It didn't kill any mount, but it also gave us a great advantage and addition to the game. That's it for the video, and I'll be seeing you next time.